Why this one,
Yeah.
and where did this come from?
Well, so before I became a port commissioner, I remember in 2017 reading a Seattle Times article where there was a sting operation in Bellevue. And it turned out that the victims of human trafficking in that particular case were women from South Korea. And obviously for me, as the son of immigrants from Korea, that hit me a little bit. And I remember thinking to myself, if I ever find myself in a position of power and influence, this is one of the things I'm going to work on. And since day one at the Port of Seattle, this has been one of my passion projects and issues that I prioritize as a commissioner.
Sam, it's interesting that you said a story out of Bellevue in 2017, and here most recently we're hearing stories out of Bellevue again. When a lot of folks hear human trafficking, some folks, they kind of picture it as being something that might be kind of far away, or something that just happens in a movie or in a dark alley. You said recently it could be happening right in front of us. What does it actually look like here in our community?
Yeah, well, I think, the movies portray human trafficking as if people are being put in shipping containers and shipped across the border. But, that's a sensationalization of the issue. The vast majority of human trafficking actually happens at the airport. Seattle-Tacoma International Airports and other international airports around the country, it's a lot easier to transport someone on a flight than it is to put them in a container. And so it's happening right under our noses. And if we don't keep our eyes peeled for this kind of activity, then these victims are the ones that get hurt the most. You saw it in Bellevue earlier this week when we saw that raid on the house, a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. You saw some raids in Kirkland and in Bothell. And so clearly it's something that is happening in our region. Let me tell you something really interesting. Sure. When I joined the port, Washington State was the 12th highest in the country for calls to the anti-human trafficking hotline. Today, we sit at number 8. So we've gone up on the list, right? I think a knee-jerk reaction to that would be like, oh, so it's getting worse in our region? You could say that, but what I think is that all of our work thus far in creating awareness around human trafficking is resulting in more reporting of human trafficking. So the numbers are going up because there's greater awareness and people are reporting it more.
So if Seattle is number 8, do you have any idea who's like top 3, top 5 in the country?
I mean, it fluctuates year to year. We've held pretty steady at the top 10, but as you can imagine, major large cities with international hubs like Los Angeles, New York, those cities and a few cities across along the U.S.-Mexico border tend to be the areas with the most trafficking activity.
You're listening to the voice of the Port of Seattle Commissioner, Sam Cho, here on the Gee and Ursula Show. So walk us through as much as you can tell us about the plan. The World Cup, it kicks off on Monday as the first match. But as we all know, there are people traveling into town now. Walk us through the plan.
Yeah, so, the port's been fighting human trafficking for years now. We have a training module at the airport for all employees. We have a training module specific to the maritime industry because, as you know, we run the container operations and the cruise operations in the Seattle Harbor. And so we have 2 training modules, one on aviation, one on maritime. In preparation for the World Cup, we've actually taken that training module and made it more general for small business owners and everyday travelers so that they can become educated on spotting human trafficking. And so we've actually developed the human trafficking toolkit. It's a toolkit that's free and available to anyone who is interested. Small businesses, not just at the airport, but anywhere in the Seattle region can download it. We have signage in multiple languages that they can post in their businesses. And so I really encourage your listeners to go download the anti-human trafficking toolkit, get educated, and make sure that they're keeping their eyes peeled.
Okay, Sam. So, look, I'm going to be real honest with you. I go to airports often. I fly a lot. And there are people that listen to my show, and they know me that a lot of times when I'm doing my thing, a lot of times I just be minding my business, man. I get to go where I have to go. But what I want to do is this is the first time that I've actually asked about this topic, and I'm sure that there are people listening that would love to know. Can you give us some red flags? Can you give us things to look for when we are at the airport?
Yeah. I mean, I think the most obvious signs are behavioral, right? So not to generalize or anything, but if you see a young lady with an older gentleman, doesn't look like they're, a daughter-dad relationship, the biggest tells are actually the way the person who's being trafficked is behaving. Oftentimes, they are told not to speak unless, and even when they're asked questions, they do not answer the questions. The handler answers the questions for them. If you ask for travel documents, they don't have it on their persons. The handler has it and hands you the travel documents, right? And so it's all about control with these people. They want to control every word and every movement of whoever they are trafficking. And so those behavioral cues tend to be the early indicators of trafficking, right? They might not talk to you at all. They might seem extremely shy and not respond if you ask them, how are you doing? How's your day? Mm-hmm. And they might not respond because they were told not to respond. They were told not to talk to anybody, right? And so those behavioral cues are the easiest red flags to spot.
Well, how about when let's say you do identify a victim, how do we make sure that they are treated as a survivor and not treated as a criminal?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, this is one of the biggest issues when it comes to the full cycle of human trafficking. We do not want to, let's say, pull someone out of a trafficking operation and then ultimately find themselves back into it, right? Oftentimes when you do that, the circumstances that brought them into human trafficking don't change and they end up back there, right? And so, first of all, you hit the nail right on the head. You cannot treat these people like criminals. They are victims. Okay, and then we need to provide them with the support they need in order to get on their own 2 feet. The port actually has had programs in the past that helps victims or at-risk victims and survivors get job training and resume consultants and whatnot, so that they can actually get employment at the airport. Right? Oftentimes, the reason these people become victims is because they're offered shelter. They're offered money, they're offered food. Well, those are things we can provide as a society. And so those are the things that we are trying to do to assist individuals who may have been victims of human trafficking.
You're listening to the voice of the commissioner of the Port of Seattle, Sam Cho, here on the show. And, okay, Sam, most people don't interview like me because I'm going to say the things that people are thinking out loud. Here's the thing, Sam. Everything that you just said. So let's just say I go to the airport tomorrow. I'm sitting there and I see an older gentleman and he's sitting next to a youngster. And something in my heart and my soul don't feel right. Right? And so I try to act on that. And let's just say that I'm wrong. I was wrong. Is that understandable that there's a lot of people that fear, like, Absolutely. Okay, they go to say something, but they're wrong, and then all of a sudden they on TV all day. Like, G. Scott's on TV because he just assumed that this older guy was with this young gal, and they didn't look the same. Yeah,
no, I mean, this is one of the things that I think probably deters the people most from reporting human trafficking. Look, at the end of the day, my recommendation is if you have a suspicion of human trafficking, you don't need to directly intervene or get involved. Call the authorities, call 911, right, and report it, right, provide a description. You don't need to confront them directly, right? I think there's no reason for those who are sounding the alarm to out themselves, right? There is a way to do this in a way where you're not front and center, but you can still do a good thing by raising the flag. And, it's very possible that our staff or anyone who's traveling could get it wrong. But that's okay because at the end of the day, there's no ramifications for you as someone who may have gotten it wrong. And if it's not someone who's being trafficked, then they can go on their way. But at the end of the day, I don't encourage people to directly intervene in those situations. Just call the authorities and let them handle it from there.
Okay, you're the commissioner of the Port of Seattle, and I'm very transparent about things that I know and don't know. I don't know what the commissioner of the Port of Seattle does. Can you educate me on that?
Yes, sir. So the Port of Seattle, our commission is countywide, elected countywide. We run the container operations, the cruise operation, the wreck boat marinas in the Seattle Harbor, as well as Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. And so think of a port commissioner as kind of like being a city council member, except we don't run a city, we run the port. And in some ways, you can argue that the airport is a mini city, but we are an economic development agency at its core. Our job is to create jobs.
Okay. So that helps me switch gears here because I know when a lot of us pull up to SeaTac, that we understand that it's landlocked, right, if you will. I mean, it's real small. But we want to know, with the whole World Cup that's coming here, 750,000 they say are going to be coming. Be honest with me, Sam. Is this airport ready?
This airport is ready. We've been getting ready for 2 years now. In fact, it's funny you ask because I'm literally at the ribbon cutting for the new Sea Concourse expansion. You hear about the Chili's coming to the airport, G?
I told you I'm an honest person. I don't know. Chili's? You got Chili's coming? I mean, come on. No, I mean, this is.
Hey, man.
I feel like I'm
hype around the Chili's.
I feel like I'm in Arizona. Arizona down there is filled with a bunch of Chili's. But of all the things, Sam, come on now. Chili's? You like Chili's?
No.
Of course, you got to say you like it.
I'm going to be honest. I've never been to a Chili's. I'm about to try their ribs for the first time. But what I was getting at is the Sea Concourse is about to open tomorrow. That's 145,000 square feet of new space, 4 floors, 12 new airport dining and retail options. And so we're ready. And from a security standpoint, the Port of Seattle Police Department has set up a unified command with all the surrounding police departments. We're going to be checking in every morning to make sure that not only the airport, but the region is safe for everybody during the World Cup. And so, 2 years of preparation for about a month of activity. But we're ready, man. We had Team Belgium fly in yesterday, and they got in smooth.
Right. You listen to the voice of the Port of Seattle Commissioner Sam Cho here on the Gee and Ursula Show. For a lot of years, because, we had a lot of new airport conversations and where should it be, and a lot of people saying not in my backyard and all that kind of stuff. And so that whole idea collapsed, and, now they need to come up with another committee to figure it out. Be honest with me, Sam. Do you ever foresee us getting a new airport, or are we going to just be stacked at SCA forever?
Well, I'll tell you what. For context, SeaTac was built for 30 million passengers, G.
Okay.
Last year, we did 53.4. All right. So at a certain point, SeaTac will break because we will not be able to accommodate everyone. Now, the problem with what the state was trying to do is that they were looking for a greenfield site. They were trying to build an airport from the ground up. What they hopefully are going to do now is look for an existing airport that they can build up, which may make it easier, and you might have a little less resistance from surrounding neighborhoods. To your question directly, G, what's for sure is you and I will be long retired before we see a second regional airport. That's a fact. Right. Whether we'll see it at all, that's up to the governor and the state legislators on whether or not they want to start getting the ball rolling on this. But at a certain point, SCA will be tapped out and the experience will continue to go down.
Well, now that I got you here, before you go, if you were in charge of making a decision and they say, hey, Sam, tell us right now, you can only pick, and by the way, you can't get out of this game. You gotta play the game. You can only pick one area for the airport to go to. Where would the commissioner of the Port of Seattle place it?
All right, you ready for this? I'm a big ideas guy.
Okay, come on.
All right. I want to build it in Moses Lake. All right. And I know that sounds really far, which it is. But if you go to every major city in the world, whether it's London, Hong Kong, Seoul, South Korea, they have their airports an hour or two away, 3 hours maybe even from the city center, and they have a high-speed bullet train that goes between the main city center and the airport. What we need is an airport in the middle of the state right, around Moses Lake, and a high-speed rail that goes from Seattle to Spokane and hits that airport in the middle. That will help not just passengers, but remember, we have Eastern Washington farmers who export using air cargo. And that airport in Moses Lake would help the farmers in Eastern Washington export their goods to the world so much cheaper and faster than SeaTac. And so that's my big idea. Let's build it in Moses Lake. Let's build a high-speed rail that goes across the state from Seattle to Spokane so that we can connect the two sides of the state.
Hey, Sam, you was on fire, bro. that was pretty good, man. I got to tell you, you're the first that I've heard. Nobody has had that idea. Hey, Sam Cho, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thank you.
It means the world. By the way, what's your favorite Korean food dish?
Oh, bro, that's like asking me to choose between children. I got to go kalbi, bro. Korean barbecue for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Kalbi is the best.
Oh, yeah.
My mom's kalbi specifically.
Oh, is it good, Sam?
Oh, 100%. We got to have you over, brother.
Oh, say no more. Sam, I appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you, G. Appreciate you.
Sam Cho, Seattle Commissioner. Man, that idea was woohoo. Text in. Did you think his idea about the airport in Moses Lake was a good idea? Text in. Let us know. Coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, will you be able to count on your Social Security check in the future? Next, Gee and Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, it's G. Scott here. Let's talk for a sec. Summertime is coming, and it's supposed to be about sunshine and kids, but when them kids are home all day, that grocery bill, diabolical. That's why I want you to know about Sunbucks and why our friends at Safeway are helping get the word out. If your family qualifies, you could receive $120 per child to spend on groceries this summer, food in your cart, and a little less pressure on the budget. There's no catch. There's no judgment. This program simply is about making sure kids have enough to eat. Here's the important part. Many families are enrolled automatically, and a card may be already headed to your mailbox. But some families do not need to apply because you already figured it out. But some families do, depending on income and where you live. So take a few minutes and check. Visit freesummermeals.org. That's freesummermeals.org. Safeway, looking out for families this summer.
Under these arches, opposing teams are put to the test. Can they hear themselves over the boom of the 12s? Can they withstand the Seattle elements? Can they compete against us? Touchdown, Seahawks! This city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Lumen Field and experience what this city lives for. Visit Seahawks.com today.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gouchard. President Trump told reporters in the Oval Office today that the U.S. will strike Iran again. But ABC's Karen Travers also says the president has alluded to the fact that a deal is about to be signed.
To hear it from the president, everything is ready to go. It just needs final sign-off. But that, of course, has been very elusive at this point, and it is still not entirely clear that these complicated issues of the highly enriched uranium, the control of the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran's demand of unfreezing of some of their assets and lifting of sanctions has actually been resolved.
Here in Washington, Seattle businesses are bracing for a flood of World Cup customers along with traffic disruptions that could make for a chaotic month. KIRO News Radio's John Rep has a closer look.
By the time Seattle's initial World Cup match kicks off on Monday, we'll already have a sense of how the city is dealing with the rush of fans. Erin Goodman is the executive director of the Soto Business Improvement Association.
Some of the reviews aren't going to be positive, but I think overall, when people come to Seattle, they're looking up, they're looking out at the water, they're looking at the mountains.
She tells the John Curley Show that this is essentially a global audition for future events. John Rep, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle hospitals are on alert ahead of the FIFA World Cup, with Harborview leading preparations for everything from infectious diseases to mass casualty incidents. Dr. John Lynch says the most important thing to do is to be up to date with your vaccines.
That is the most powerful tool we have to prevent a lot of these dangerous and highly transmissible pathogens like measles. That vaccine is a showstopper. It is fantastic and really makes a huge difference. So get vaccinated.
He says the region is already seeing plenty of respiratory viruses already. Thousands of Washington residents could soon receive money from a multi-state settlement involving a COVID-19 testing company. Attorney General Nick Brown says GS Labs will pay nearly $1 million in restitution after allegations the company overcharged patients. More than 11,000 people in Washington are expected to qualify for payments ranging from $5 to as much as $200. Bellevue police say the so-called OnlyFans house is just one of many properties involved in a human trafficking operation. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu has more.
Court records detail 5 key locations in this trafficking case, where they allege Nikita Chukalo kept the young women he trafficked and forced to create online sex content. 2 of them are in Renton, the Renton apartment and the former lake house. The apartment is near the Renton Landing, and the former lake house is about 10 minutes north on a secluded residential street just behind the VMAC. Neighbors there told KIRO 7 off camera this home was the site of large parties, similar to those that later brought the case to the attention of Bellevue police.
The Seattle City Council has unanimously approved a 1-year moratorium on AI data centers.
Stop the data centers! Stop the data centers!
Before yesterday's vote, the council heard about 2 hours of public testimony, all of it in favor of the moratorium.
The data centers will only benefit the billionaire class and the Epstein class.
Prior to yesterday's vote, a company called Digital Realty had announced plans for a 6-story data center in Belltown. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by Global Credit Union. The Valley Freeway is running about 35 minutes from the Puyallup area to Renton. It'll take you about 30 minutes up out of Renton to Bellevue. Federal Way to Seattle is about 45 right now, and coming out of Snohomish County, it's about 45 from Everett to Seattle. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. For your forecast, this afternoon will be dry with increasing sunshine, temperatures warming up to the mid-60s. Right now, it's about 56 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee Ursula Show. Grateful that you're hanging out with us on the show today. Means the world. Hey, we just had the Port of Seattle Commissioner, Sam Cho, on. And man, I was shocked. I like Sam. No Sam. But I didn't know that he was going to be bringing the fire the way that he did. And what am I talking about? It's something we're going to bring back up at 11 o'clock because the text line lit up. I asked him if he were able to pick a location for a new airport, where would it be? And what he said, I won't spoil it for you. He said Moses Lake. And I know people are texting in like, oh, well, somebody else has said Moses Lake before. Yes, they have. But nobody put it down the way he did. He said, I do Moses Lake. And then he went into the high-speed rail to get people to and from, and he gave a shout-out talking about the farmers over in Eastern Washington, and no-brainer right there. So if you would like to talk about, we're going to talk about it, but if you would like to be a part of the conversation, send your text in. Chef is ready to put those in, 888-973-5476, because we got to talk about that at 11, and a lot of you all text in saying, whoo, that was a good idea. It was such a good idea. It made so much sense. I wonder if Sam going to get in trouble. I wonder if the commissioner is not allowed to say something like that. You ever notice, like sometimes you're at work and you have a good idea and the idea is so good that all your coworkers are like, oh, wow, that was a great idea. But guess who's mad at you? The boss. Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird how the boss don't like for you to have great ideas because they want the ideas to come right from them? Shocker. Hey, so we're going to be talking about that. Now we got to talk about Social Security. Now, a report came out yesterday. More than 70 million Americans rely on Social Security. And a new report says the program is on track to run out of full funding in just 6 years. Nick, you shocked? Just want to make sure. You good?
I'm not really shocked, no.
Okay. Just want to make sure. That doesn't mean Social Security will disappear in 2032. But if nothing changes, people will still get paid. But this is how you'll get paid. For every dollar that you're set to get, 22 cents is going to come out of that dollar. So you're going to get 78 cents on the dollar. Now, remember last year, the administration said full funding would run out in 2033. Now, it's a year earlier. So what's the reason? Why? Well, let's be real. Low birth rates are for one reason. Now, I think none of us can argue with that. Nick, you and your friends, your generation, you guys are not having kids like we used to.
Well, yeah, because it's just everything is more expensive these days. It's harder, let alone to get a house out here, and put a down payment on there. Yeah. And then you hear about childcare costs. I've heard stories that having one kid per month with childcare is like $2,000.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then a couple of kids, it's like over $4,000.
Now, I just want to make sure, because I know a text message will come in here soon, and I just want to remind you that undocumented immigrants don't receive Social Security. They pay taxes, but they don't get Social Security. They don't get SNAP benefits. Matter of fact, all of those different things are, hospital, because, you want to take care of people, but they don't get those benefits. Well, they just let you know that. So, what's the fix? Well, I think that's where politics kind of comes in. Some Republicans have proposed gradually raising the retirement age. Many Democrats favor increasing payroll taxes. There goes those taxes again. Increasing payroll taxes on higher earners by eliminating or raising the current income cap, which is set at $184,500 this year. Now, the good news is Congress has known this problem was coming for decades. The bad news is Congress has known this problem was coming for decades. Now, I want to ask you, what would your fix be? 888-973-5476. What would your fix be on this Social Security? If you don't mind, can I give you my fix? This is what I would want. If you're telling me that by 2032, that y'all gonna keep these checks short by 22 cents on a dollar. So I'm only gonna get 78 cents on every dollar soon when I qualify for Social Security. Okay. So here's my fix. This is for me, not for you. This is for me. Then give me my money now. Give me my money now. I don't want to have to wait for it, and then I'm getting this trickling in. Let's settle up right now, and you can just hand it to me, and then let me go ahead and do something with the money, if that makes sense. That's how I would handle it, because if I'm going to be short every other month, I don't want to have to wait for that. Just I'll settle up with you right now. Cash me a check, boom, I'll take it, and let me be responsible for the money and how I do things. Let me go ahead and work with it. Now, I know not everybody wants to do that, but that's how I would want to fix things. Just settle up with me right now. Chef, I got about 30 seconds.
This is so easy. You pay 6.2% taxes on everything you make. All of you listening right now, you do. Unless you make over about $184,000. If you make over that, anything over that amount, no tax paid at all. You don't have to pay taxes on Social Security above that number. You simply tax everyone 6.2% on whatever they make, and the entire program is solvent, period. This is a known fact. The rich benefit, though.
All right. So text in. How about I think that we need to bring the Social Security conversation back up, and I would like to take some of you all's suggestions. Let's see who's got the good ones. I like Chef's. That was good. I like mine, too. Settle up. Give me my money right now, then. All right. Coming up next, scenarios.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including overall excellence and investigative reporting.
Just 29 hours later, Joshua Headley sent an unsolicited email to me writing, "I understand there may be a news story coming out."
Thank you who listen, stream, and watch every day. The driving force that pushes us to be the Northwest trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Spike O'Neill here. If your loved one's caregiver is planning a vacation or just needs a break, why not consider Aegis Living Respite Care? A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike to schedule a visit today.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Get more baseball for your buck with Mariners Value Options. Tickets for less than $12 to select games all season and the biggest ever value menu and beer lineup, featuring 36 items and available every game. Check it out at mariners.com/value.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or a gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. And once again, they've been awarded the best in the Pacific Northwest for roofing by the Seattle Times in 2025. And right now, qualified homeowners can take advantage of $0 down and 0% financing with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing today, and remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning. Hey, the 11 o'clock hour. Let me just tell you what's going on. 11:30, Angela Rye will join the show. I don't know where that's going. That conversation, just buckle up. That's all I'm going to tell you. I love having Angela Rye on. That happens at 11:30. But here's two things we also need to talk about at the beginning of 11. One, we need to talk about that whole airport idea that the commissioner of the Port of Seattle had. Oh, my goodness. In the newsroom, they're going crazy about it. So we'll talk about that. You guys can weigh in. Also, what to do about Social Security ideas. Text line blew up. A lot of you guys text in, and my girl Julie text in, and boy, does she have fire. She says, or you could just take 22 cents off of every dollar that I contribute to Social Security, and then we're even. So a lot of great answers. We're going to do that at 11 o'clock, but right now, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My husband is an older gentleman who takes care of everything. He lets me concentrate on my dreams, and I love it. My friends warned me not to marry a guy who is 30 years older than me, but hey, he's great. Problem is his son. So here's the thing. We're both 31. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm married to a guy who has a son my age. And we basically graduated the same year. So he's technically my stepson now. He's grown. He's my stepson. And he's living off my husband, his dad. He has no job. He has no responsibility. He lives with us. And he just makes a mess all over. It's like having an overgrown toddler in your house. So I confronted him, and yes, it blew up. He cried to his daddy. Believe it or not, his dad took his side. My husband tells me to cut him some slack because he's dealing with some things in his life. Look, I have empathy. I get that. But isn't it time to move forward? The tension is so thick in this house, you can cut it with a knife. Then last weekend, the stepson told me to deal with it. And guess what? I'm going to be the one to get dad's money when he's gone. Whoa. I had no idea. I was shocked. To be honest with you, we've never talked about this before. And it took my stepson to tell me about this. So he just stays home, plays video games, does whatever he wants. Now, right now, I have a husband that supports my dream. But on the other hand, I have a stepson who refuses to grow up because he knows the money's coming to him, and I have not asked my husband what I'm going to get if and when he passes away. What are your thoughts on this? 888-973-5476 is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Chef, you up the bat first.
You laying in the bed, you chose to lie in. You didn't. I mean, what you think? You didn't have any idea that this would be a problem. A rich dude who's 30 years older than you has a live-in son, and you think he's gonna boot his boy out just because he married you? I don't think so. I'm shocked you weren't forced to sign a prenup. The whole reason you married him is because he allowed you to do the things that you love to do, meaning he pays for you and your lifestyle. Okay? The idea that he's going to all of a sudden cut his son off is ludicrous. I cannot believe you even brought it up with his dad in that kind of way. Like, how dare he? This kid who does not... What do you do all day? Do you think that your interests are more important. Like, he plays video games, but I don't know. Maybe you enjoy interior design. Is that any more profound and worthy of your husband's money than his son's video games? Doesn't sound like it to me. I don't know. Deal with it. You probably get nothing. Enjoy the free ride while it lasts.
Okay, I'm going to go on the other side of Shep on this one.
Do you really want to? Are you forcing this?
I'm forcing it. 206 texts in and says, she married a guy and doesn't know what the will says and everything. Look, this is a very complicated one. And by the way, I'm being soft on this one. I really am. But I just thought it was very interesting that you married someone that's 30 years older than you. And you even admitted that he takes care of everything and he lets me concentrate on my dreams. Let me tell you something. When somebody tells you, hey, what you do? I be concentrating on my dreams. What does that say? When somebody tells you that what they do, they concentrate on their dreams. I mean, how you know your stepson ain't concentrating on his dreams? Playing video games, ordering DoorDash at home. Look, he won the daddy lottery. You can't be mad at him. He won the daddy lottery. Just speaking of daddies, you marrying somebody 30 years older than you, I won't go to it. Nick, what you got, man?
It makes sense the dad is giving the will to the son, being that he's taking care of him at his place already, but it is another issue still having him at the crib while he's got no job and no ambitions. Now, to be fair, though, she knew about this, like Chef said, while being in the situation with him. Though, if she wants change, I'm sure there needs to be a talk with the older guy, because she could end up just leaving the man if the man can't stay stable while the son is going and he's going to keep hanging out over there. I think the bigger lead of this is the fact that the husband is with the lady the same age as his son. I mean, he's living his best life out there, the older guy, and if she doesn't like the circumstances, I mean, she can find herself a new hubby if she wants.
Now, I don't guess anymore what song you're going to play, Nick, but this time I tried to. And you know what I thought you was going to play?
What were we going with?
She takes my money.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a good one. Yeah.
When I'm in need.
Here she's gold digger. Way over town.
Depends on me. Okay. 11 o'clock hour coming. Angela Rye is joining us at 11:30. But up next, we got to talk about Sam Cho's idea for where to put an airport in Seattle. Great idea. And also, Social Security. I can't tell you. We got hundreds of texts. What should we do about Social Security? Text them in. We'll get those texts. We'll talk about it next. Gee Ursula.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver. From New Nordic, search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. President Trump, in his response to the latest inflation report showing the highest consumer price hikes in 3 years, seems to announce that the U.S. has been seizing Iranian oil, telling reporters at the White House.
I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. We've been taking out millions of barrels of oil. Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now.
New air attacks between Iran and the U.S. after President Trump ordered a response to the downing of a U.S. Army helicopter. Trump indicating there'll be more attacks today because Iran's negotiating too slowly. President Trump has signed an immigration enforcement bill into law with a few years of funding for ICE. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates voluntarily appeared for an interview today with the House Oversight Committee investigating Jeffrey Epstein. This is ABC News. Another reason to park your car in the garage instead of in the driveway.
The insurance industry estimates that 50,000 automotive airbags are stolen across the U.S. every year. Many are sold to unscrupulous mechanics who then pass them off as new.
These folks that are purchasing them and billing the insurance and using stolen airbags for that replacement.
Chicago City Council member Gilbert Villegas has proposed legislation going after not only the thieves who steal airbags out of cars, but the people who are buying them. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
An employee at the naval base in Panama City, Florida, swimming on his lunch break, was attacked by a shark. ABC's Morgan Norwood.
The victim, in his late 20s, suffering serious injuries to his arms. He was rushed into surgery and remains in critical condition. A colleague swimming with him was not hurt. At least 2 other people have reportedly been injured by sharks in recent days in that area, including a man bitten by a bull shark while fishing.
Our Morgan Norwood, Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Another Seattle leader is calling for action on Aurora Avenue. But first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. The Valley Freeway is running about 35 right now from the Puyallup area to Renton. It'll take you about a half an hour out of Renton up to Bellevue. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive is about 45 minutes right now. And coming down out of Snohomish County, it's about 45 from Everett to Seattle. Earn up to $30 per month for using your Harborstone PNW Cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today at harborstone.com/cash.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Just days after Aurora Avenue neighbors marched to protest gun violence and sex trafficking, former Seattle council member Kathy Moore is calling for action.
The number one thing that could happen tomorrow is to close the streets.
Moore tells the John Curley Show that a longer-term solution means additional police funding and engagement, along with enforcement of existing laws designed to deter Johns from loitering. World Cup visitors will get a little help navigating the city, courtesy of smart kiosks popping up around town. KIRO News Radio's Corin Hake reports from First and Pike.
This is where you'll find the first of a proposed 58-foot-tall interactive kiosks citywide. The big touchscreen digital sign looks like a giant iPhone.
So if you click on the eat and drink icon, it will bring up a list of restaurants that are nearby to you.
Jessica Burton is with Ike Smart City, the company installing these kiosks in multiple cities nationwide. In return for ad revenue, Ike agrees to pay for the kiosks' maintenance and upkeep. This one is open now. There should be 20 more kiosks operating downtown, in West Seattle, in Ballard, and elsewhere by year's end. At First and Pike, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
New details are emerging in a Bellevue sex trafficking investigation tied to what's been described as an OnlyFans house. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Billy reports the ring operated out of several other properties as well.
3 of the properties are in Bellevue, the mansion, which investigators raided last week. Before that, they say the operation was based out of the penthouse and the lake house. Investigators say Nikita Chukolo was evicted from the Bellevue Lake House located in the Newport Shores subdivision after about a month. Neighbors there say they'd heard about the case, but had no idea it had any connection to their neighborhood.
I really didn't realize it was just down the street from me, so that's a little disconcerting.
Chukolo, he's the only arrest in the case, but court records allege at least 2 other men were involved.
The market for OnlyFans in Washington is huge. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas explains.
According to OnlyGuider, which calls itself the leading OnlyFans search engine, people in Washington spend more than $200,000 per day on OnlyFans. That is the 8th highest in the country by state. By county, San Juan has the most spending in the state. By city, it's Seattle, for a total of more than $73 million spent on OnlyFans in the state last year.
A Kitsap County man will spend more than 6 years in prison after allegedly pleading guilty to secretly recording women inside a public restroom. Bremerton police say 48-year-old Brian Group was arrested following the city's Krampus event last December. Investigators say he used a device to photograph and record women inside the restroom. Police announced his guilty plea just today. For your KIRO News Radio weather, we have a few showers this morning. It'll clear by this afternoon with increasing sunshine. Temperatures pretty warm in the mid-60s. Right now, it's about 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you. Ursula is out this week. She's on a cruise, enjoying herself. She will be back next week, but don't worry, I'm not by myself. I have amazing folks that are surrounding me. Of course, you guys have been hearing Katrina come in at the top and the bottom of the hour. We got Nick here, and we got Chef here. Hey, coming up at 11:30. That's right. She's an attorney. She's a political commentator. Angela Rye joins the show. She'll be live here in studio at 11:30. But right now, we got to get to, and I think you guys want to talk about what we've been talking about. Let's go.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Now, we had on the Port of Seattle Commissioner, Sam Cho, onto the show, and we talked about, obviously, in preparation with the World Cup that's going to be happening here. First matches in 5 days. That's going to be happening, and folks are coming into town. So, of course, we talked about human trafficking and what their plans are to combat that, because that is a real serious issue throughout the country, throughout the world, and here locally as well. But then we switched gears, and we talked about airport stuff and the possibility. And as you all know, this region needs a new airport. Would you agree? Because just how bad is the problem? Well, state planners said that there will be no room at all for 27 million passengers in the Puget Sound region by 2050. Well, Sam Cho, he was brutally honest about that problem. Check it out. Ever foresee us getting a new airport, or are we going to just be stacked at SCA forever?
SeaTac was built for 30 million passengers, G.
Okay.
Last year, we did 53.4. All right. So at a certain point, SeaTac will break because we will not be able to accommodate everyone. Now,
before I get to his answer, can I just tell y'all, I noticed something, and he just broke me. Now, on orders of Perry Cooper, shout out to him, I have this entire time been trying to follow the rule, because believe it or not, I'm a rule follower, and I've been calling it SCA. And a lot of you guys text in, and you guys say, I'm going to call it SeaTac. And I want to play that answer again, because notice how he came right behind me, and how I think I'm done calling it SCA. Check out what he says. Listen to this answer. Listen. Do you ever foresee us getting a new airport, or are we going to just be stacked at SCA forever?
SeaTac was built for...
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm done. I'm done calling it SCA. I was just Nick, I was trying to do the right thing, man.
Yeah, you're trying to be correct about it. But if he's out here saying SeaTac, I'm going to keep saying SeaTac as well. I still say SeaTac.
I'm done. Now, going back to what he said, like, that's a real problem where you all know that SeaTac is surrounded by water, and it is tough. So to hear him say that and the quiet part out loud, they got to do something. And listen to what he also says next. He actually said the quiet part out loud. He said SeaTac is going to break. The state tried to get a plan moving on an airport in Pierce County, but y'all know that died. So here's what he had to say.
The problem with what the state was trying to do is that they were looking for a greenfield site. They were trying to build an airport from the ground up. What they hopefully are going to do now is look for an existing airport that they can build up, which may make it easier, and you might have a little less resistance from surrounding neighborhoods. To your question directly, G, I mean, what's for sure is you and I will be long retired before we see a second regional airport. That's a fact, right? Whether we'll see it at all, I mean, that's up to the governor and the state legislators on whether or not they want to start getting the ball rolling on this. But at a certain point, SCA will be tapped out, and the experience will continue to go down.
You know, he just called it SCA again. Kind of reminds me when I was going back and forth on Chef and Andrew. Like one day I was calling him Chef, then I was trying to do Andrew, and I was trying to really do the right thing by calling him his government name, but I couldn't do it. I had to go back to Chef. But then he went into the proposal that he had. Now, some of you all heard it, some of you didn't, because I want to weigh in with these text messages that's come in. Listen to his solution and what he proposes. And by the way, I've heard of people putting sites, but this idea is kind of detailed. Listen to this.
I want to build it in Moses Lake, all right? And I know that sounds really far, which it is. But if you go to every major city in the world, whether it's London, Hong Kong, Seoul, South Korea, they have their airports an hour or two away, 3 hours maybe even from the city center, and they have a high-speed bullet train that goes between the main city center and the airport. What we need is an airport in the middle of the state, right, around Moses Lake, and a high-speed rail that goes from Seattle to Spokane and hits that airport in the middle. That will help not just passengers, but remember, we have Eastern Washington farmers who export using air cargo. And that airport in Moses Lake would help the farmers in Eastern Washington export their goods to the world so much cheaper and faster than SeaTac. And so that's my big idea. Let's build it in Moses Lake. Let's build a high-speed rail that goes across the state from Seattle to Spokane so that we can connect the two sides of the state.
Fire. That answer
so
was
good.
So good. And I thought that he wasn't going to play. I thought when I asked him that, I thought he didn't really want to get into that answer. And, because a lot of times, a lot of folks, politicians, and they say, oh.
I hate it.
Right.
You hate it.
Right.
It's terrible. Oh, we'll see the process.
No, he came right with it. If there's anybody, that answer made so much sense. But don't you guys, the thing is about that answer that just makes me cringe a little bit, the answer was so good. The answer makes so much sense, which leads me to believe that it will never happen. Isn't that weird like that? Isn't that what's happening right now in our society? Like things that are no-brainer, they just aren't happening right now. And the idea was great. I want to just share some of these text messages. Truck driver Phil, who'll be texting with us on Wednesdays, said, I love the high-speed rail idea. Seriously, that would be awesome. But it instantly makes me look at the San Francisco to Los Angeles high-speed rail project in California. Have you guys followed up on that story at all? OMG, would Washington fall into the same trap? Now, call me, I don't want to be negative on this topic. I want to be really positive. I want to be glass half full. But it's hard, especially, and I'm speaking to all my brothers and sisters in Tacoma. It was a great idea. You want to know what else was a great idea? Light rail coming from Tacoma all the way up. You know what I mean? That was a good idea, too. And that still hasn't happened. So you kind of get traumatized. You get triggered.
Yes, you do. But, man, let's be honest. I'm tired of living in a country that doesn't believe they can do big things anymore. This is the United States of freaking America. No state is going to be able to handle high-speed rail and that project and that budget on their own. It's not going to happen. That's where the federal government needs to come in. No state built the state highway system, right? That was the federal government. No state put a man on the moon. All of these big infrastructure projects have to happen at a national scale. If we want to grow the economy, we actually have to invest in the infrastructure for the future, and this would be a great investment. Of course, local money would be involved, but don't we want infrastructure that actually meets the demands of the 21st century and not the early 1960s?
Well, I'm glad folks want to bring up the 1960s. I was going to move on from this topic, and I promise I'm going to move on. But before I do, first, shout out to the 60s. If you were born in the 60s, shout out to you. Because let's go through the facts here. The 60s were probably, arguably, one of the best times. It was a hotbed for technology and what was happening. There was all kind of roads and highways and military research and a lot of the foundations, the things that we're doing today, it was all started in the 60s. Now, y'all not going to like where I'm going with this, but I apologize. I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. You want to know what else the 60s had in common? You want to know what the tax rate was for those that had a whole lot of money here in the 60s? You see what I'm saying? There was a lot of money to pay for all of those ideas. It was a lot of money to do all of those projects. Why? Because those at the top were getting taxed. No question. But I'll move on. I don't want to stay on that too topic because I don't want to upset anyone on that. But I just want to just let you know, you can go look up the tax rate during that time, during the 60s. And then the next conversation we had was on Social Security. And the reason why we had that conversation, just so you all know, as of right now, have been told that by 2032, Social Security payouts as we know it will be different. And the difference is that your check that you get, there will be 22 cents taken out of every single dollar. So this is no big new news because the last year the administration announced by 2033 that this was going to be happening. And why is this happening? Because as we all know, we have low birth rates. There's all types of reasons why this is happening. I mean, the talk about Social Security and not being there in the future has been a conversation since the 80s and 90s. Like it has always been a topic, but it's real now. And so the question I had for a lot of you, what would you do? What would you do to kind of fix things? And here's my fix. Like I said, and by the way, I'm going to pay off these text messages that have come in. My fix is this. If you're going to take 22 cents out of every dollar that's going to be coming to me, and you're going to shortchange me later, why not just give me my money right now? That's what I said. Now, text messages are starting to come in. Ed in Bremerton says, yeah, cash me out right now. Give me my money. 206 says, I'm with you, G. Give me my money now. I'll protect it, I'll clothe it, and I'll watch that thing grow. Now, here comes another lane. Kim and Puyallup text in and says they need to smash the cap. You only pay up to $184,000. Then they don't pay after that. Smash the cap. Well, by the way, Kim, I love how you put smash the cap. Like, people love that. The youngsters, Nick, those generation, what do they say? Like, smash the like button. That's what they do that all the time.
Hit that like and subscribe for me.
Smash it. Peter in Seattle says, as someone who pays Social Security out of every dollar I make, absolutely no cap for rich people. Mark in Olympia says, my answer to funding, stop sending money to other countries, especially funding their wars and keeping that money here. 253, very simple. A capital gains tax, 7% tax quarterly on your stock portfolio, and yes, a tax on the wealthy. So there's a lot of different fixes that are coming in. And I know it was Julie that made a comment, and Julie says, and I loved it, said, okay, if you're going to take money from me, 22 cents on the dollar, how about this? From now on going forward, every time I get a paycheck, I only pay you 78 cents on the dollar.
It's not really how math works.
Well,
when you put less into a system that's supposed to pay.
I know.
I wish it would.
I know. But at the end of the day, it just seems that a lot of, and by the way, currently we have 70 million Americans that are drawing Social Security. And I, for one, think it is very important to take care of our people from the past, especially the people, amazing people, especially in the 60s, 70s, all that stuff, that we should be taking care of them. And we should also look into alternative ways to take care of those in the future. This Social Security conversation is a real serious one. It's not one that is funny at all because we already lost, remember the pension? Pension used to be a thing. You used to work 30 years. You'd retire after 30 years. Usually you retire in your 50s. A lot of folks retired in their 50s. And then they had an opportunity to kind of work a part-time job until it was time to get the full benefits of the Social Security. So the pensions are now gone. And now it's the 401k game that's being played. And some people play it, some people don't, some people like it, some people do. It just all depends who you are and how you are. But look, like Chef said earlier, if they're going to take X amount of dollars out of our check, I'm like you guys too. Then remove. What's that?
The cap.
What's the cap? Once I hit that number,
if you're rich enough, you don't have to pay the tax. Brad, brother, I love you. I love you. What does he say down here? He says, "Why smash the cap? I earned that money and I deserve to keep it." Look, Brad, if you make over $184,000 a year, you know what? Seriously, and from all of my heart, I do not begrudge you that money. The only thing that I am asking is that you pay the same taxes that everybody else pays. Why should somebody making $20,000 a year put 6% of their paycheck into Social Security? And if you make over 184, you make $3 million a year. You don't pay tax on 280 of it.
Right. So this Social Security thing, and as I get ready to wrap this up and go into break, I think that there's all types of ways that people talk about and look towards for retirement. But I remember growing up or even today, you hear the word retirement. And I think that when you're younger, you hear that word, it's just so far away. But you have this whole idea of what retirement is going to be like. I don't know, you usually, because of what you see on TV, or maybe what you see and or saw with your grandparents or your parents in the last generation. And the truth of the matter is, and we're seeing how jobs are changing. We're seeing the layoffs. We're seeing the loyalty. We're seeing the low wages. We're not seeing individuals hang on to gone are the days of staying with a company 30 plus years. Okay? Like those days are done. So what retirement looks like going into the future, I got to tell you, it's going to be a lot different than we have heard or are used to. And so I just hope that bipartisan, right? Like when we're talking about taking care of those that have put into this system, it doesn't matter if you're conservative or liberal, or where are you from? Can we all agree that we truly do need to take care of our people here in this country? So if that means, I know this might make some of y'all mad, but if you just shave off 1-2% off the defense budget, would that work? I mean, just a little bit, just a little bit, just to kind of ensure that people, because I think we are tired of seeing our loved ones that are on fixed income having to balance and shorten their meals. Folks that need to have a full meal that are taking medication, and they're taking medication on an empty stomach because they're skipping meals. This is the United States of America. That should not be happening here.
And at the very least, aside from the monetary subjects, can we at least have the retirees or the ones on the verge of retiring stop the whole narrative of, well, do what I did, go through the motions I did, work as hard as I did, find a company and work that I found, because the roadmap has completely changed. And it's different for everybody now these days in order to find that same kind of success.
Yes, sir. Hey, coming up here on the Gee and Ursula Show, I'm looking forward to having an amazing guest. She's an attorney, she's a political commentator, and she's also the voice behind the pod, Native Land Pod. Angela Rye joins us next, Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. KIRO Newsradio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards, including overall excellence and investigative reporting.
Just 29 hours later, Joshua Headley sent an unsolicited email to me writing, "I understand there may be a news story coming out."
Thank you who listen, stream, and watch every day. The driving force that pushes us to be the Northwest trusted news source. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add 1 line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone, because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Are you a homeowner, 62 or older, and realize that your Social Security and other income may not carry you through your retirement years? Have you ever thought about a reverse mortgage? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at Tila Mortgage, a local company serving Washington residents for 30 years. And if you want to know how a reverse mortgage works or have questions like, are reverse mortgages safe? Will I still own my home? Or do I really have the option of not making monthly mortgage payments? Call Tila for a no-pressure conversation. They'll answer your questions with personalized recommendations and loan options that can safely help you improve your monthly cash flow, increase your available income, pay off debt, or make home improvements. Call Tila today. Tila, spelled Tila, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl. The heroes you crawl.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to experience powerhouse vocalist and songwriter Judith Hill, blending soul, funk, R&B, and jazz into one unforgettable performance. Shows run June 11th through the 14th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Outrage over the conviction of a teenager in Texas for the stabbing death of another teen during a high school track meet. Carmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison for the death of Austin Metcalf. a 17-year-old who authorities say got into an altercation with Anthony. More from ABC's John Quinones, who says critics of the verdict were upset that there were no black jurors on the court.
The tragic incident unfolding on a rainy day in April of last year. Anthony walking under a tent belonging to Metcalf's team. Metcalf asking Anthony to leave, leading to the deadly confrontation.
He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move."
Metcalf pushed Anthony, who then pulled a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf dying in his twin brother's arms.
Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates says he regrets ever meeting Jeffrey Epstein. In testimony to House lawmakers today, Gates called it a grave error, adding he had no indication of wrongdoing at the time. On his way in, Gates told reporters he was glad to be here voluntarily.
I hope my testimony is helpful to the important work of the committee to find justice for the victims.
Gates is among several powerful figures facing scrutiny over past ties to Epstein. Seattle businesses are bracing for a flood of World Cup customers along with traffic disruptions that could make for a chaotic month. KIRO News Radio's John Repp has a closer look.
By the time Seattle's initial World Cup match kicks off on Monday, we'll already have a sense of how the city is dealing with the rush of fans. Aaron Goodman is the executive director of the Soto Business Improvement Association.
Some of the reviews aren't going to be positive, but I think overall, when people come to Seattle, they're looking up, they're looking out at the water, they're looking at the mountains.
She tells the John Curley Show that this is essentially a global audition for future events. John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Harborview Medical Center says it's prepared for health challenges that come with hosting a global event. Dr. John Lynch says Harborview is ready to identify and treat a wide range of infectious diseases.
I've heard numbers, upwards of 1 million people coming in to sort of the Pacific Northwest, kind of I-5 corridor between Vancouver, BC, and here. And that's something we've never, ever dealt with before.
He says Seattle's healthcare system has extensive plans in place to respond if needed. Today is the deadline to apply for FEMA assistance if you were impacted by December storms and flooding. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin reports.
FEMA wants everybody to apply for that funding, whether you had 6 feet of water or 6 inches. Now, so far, FEMA has approved $8.76 million in assistance for 925 applicants across 10 counties and several tribal reservations. Now, officials say the money helps pay for temporary housing, displacement, home repair costs, personal property loss, and other disaster-caused expenses.
Now let's get a check on the roads with KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. This traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO News Radio app. The Valley Freeway is running about 30 minutes from the Puyallup area to Renton. There's a few brake lights on 405 northbound. It'll take you about 25 minutes out of Renton up to Bellevue. Federal Way to Seattle Drive is about 40 minutes right now. And coming down out of Snohomish County, it's about 45 from Everett to Seattle. Lake bridges are clear. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. For your weather, we will be dry this afternoon with increasing sunshine and temperatures warming up to the mid-60s. Right now, it's 59 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you. Really appreciate you hanging out with the show. Right now, I'm waiting for Angela Rye to arrive here in studio. And one of the things that I figured I would comment on was about how today on Capitol Hill, one of the richest men ever has lived, he sat there, Bill Gates, and he had to answer some questions. The Microsoft founder, the guy who has done a lot of things. So I found that interesting. And one of the things that he says is, he hopes that, that people are able to, that his information that he's given today, and he made the comment of that his words, a grave error in judgment. So I definitely want to talk about that here pretty soon. But right now, our guest is here right now. She is proof that Seattle grows some of the best world changers in the world. She's an attorney, political commentator, and voice behind the Native Land Pod. Angela Rye is here. Angela, good morning to you.
Good morning, G. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hey, I'm going to get right into it. I ain't going to dance around and everything, and this is one of the main reasons why I wanted you on the show. Now, I didn't get a chance to go to the Urban League event recently, but you spoke. Always love it when you speak, so I missed it. But you spoke about the local political situation here in Seattle and in Washington State. So I want to share it with everyone, right? And I'm going to let you hear it. It's about a minute long. I'm going to play it, and then I want you to respond.
Okay.
Here's what happened.
Unfortunately for us, we're spending too much time fighting people who are supposed to be allies. We are fighting people who have been sworn into office to protect and serve the whole of Seattle, the whole of Washington, and somewhere along the way they've forgotten their mission. But this is a city that has made Black history. We've elected not one but 2 Black mayors. We have the first city council president who is a Black woman in Joy Hollingsworth. And we have the first ever in the city's history Black city attorney in Erica Evans. I'm saying all of this to tell you it's not enough for us to just make history. It's not enough for us to just bear the name Martin Luther King County. We've got to do something with that power. We've got to do something with that charge. It requires us to hold our allies accountable. If we voted for them, they earned it, and they better act like they earned it.
Angela, where's this energy coming from?
Ooh, well, if there's not any other sound, I will take my headphones off. You know, it's deep. I grew up in this city with my dad, who's an activist, fighting people on both sides of the aisle, right, proverbially. We've had Democratic governors, and Black minority contract participation has been abysmal. With this new administration, particularly at the city level, I'm watching her wage war on people who look like you and and I don't understand why. There are people who do great work. She seems to have great disdain for the strides, the legacy left by Bruce Harrell, that was a clip that was cut, and I recognize the 2 Black mayors that this city has also elected. But I think we engage in a lot of pomp and circumstance, a lot of symbolism, but we don't want to engage in the real work that it takes to, move things beyond the cute sign that says Black Lives Matter, like Black paychecks should matter, Black contracting opportunities should matter, Black admission to higher education institutions should matter. And I think that we wrestle with that, really, in earnest in this city, and I want to know why. So that's where it comes from. I don't want performative allyship. I want allyship that results in real substantive change, especially in an environment where we're watching our members of Congress lose their seats all throughout the South. I want it to mean something when we say we're from the town and we represent something that's far bigger. We represent progress. Like if we say we're progressive, if people say they're progressive, I want it to mean that we're moving forward.
When people talk about Seattle, they say, Seattle's so progressive. And what you said they had the first this, the first that, the first this. Yep. We got a lot of firsts
Martin
here.
Luther King County.
Right? A lot of firsts.
My dad will hand you a lapel pin. It is one of the things he's the proudest of. Changing Empire Way to Martin Luther King Boulevard. We know. Martin Luther King Way. We know. But if you can't move beyond, and we appreciate everybody that shows up to the march every year for, Martin Luther King Day. Yeah. But if you can't move beyond the march and march your behinds towards something real, towards a policy change, I don't know how much more I want from that.
So when you travel, and matter of fact, you're about to travel again. You're traveling all over the country. Every time, I don't know where you're going to be, but you pop up somewhere in a different state. What is the difference that you've learned? Let's talk about the South. Yeah. So the South compared to here.
Yeah.
How would you compare and contrast the South and here in Seattle? How would you compare?
Well, I think it depends. So there are some instances in the South where, just for example, mourning this case, you saw what happened with Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, but the young man who was the track and field captain, the football captain, 3.7 GPA, worked at Foot Locker. He has the story of the kid, the bio of a kid that everybody would want. And he came into a situation where he feared for his life. He stabbed someone. Sounds like it was about a 2-inch wound, but it was a fatal stabbing. And the way that you're hearing people who are protesting outside that courtroom demonize this child who made a grave error, right? I know he didn't want to take someone's life. He dropped the knife, cries. And I'm not trying to take away the victimhood of the parents who lost their child. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be foolish for us to say that something radically different would have happened if this were a white child with the same set of circumstances, the same bio. And so I think that is really what I'm talking about. When we look at the racism in the South, it's very much in your face. They will, take away a congressional seat, a legislative seat. We have members of the state legislature here who are challenging the state legislative map here, 2 seats in Yakima Valley. So it's starting to look more and more similar. We go over the side of the mountains in Washington State. It looks very similar to the South in the ways in which racism plays out, if we're honest.
All right. You listen to the voice of Angela Rye here on the Gee and Ursula Show. A lot of people, call you a truth teller. And no matter what, Angela Rye is going to say the truth. But I need to ask you this. Lately or recently, what has the truth cost you?
Oh, so much. I had a conversation this morning with someone who I see as a little sister. The Congressional Black Caucus recently issued a letter to companies all over the country, including all of the major corporations here in this state, calling for them to stand with them on voting rights, the same way they did after George Floyd died, not in 2020, but in 2021. Business for voting rights, they named it. And a lot of these companies have been completely silent after these Supreme Court decisions that have essentially said, we know what we told y'all in 1965. Things have changed. Y'all are all right. You don't need these protections. We know that's not true. But these companies have been really, really silent. We know that even when we look at South African apartheid, kind of that last frontier is economic divestment. Before we get to divestment, we want to see if you all are still our friends. We want to see if you're still our allies. And the lack of courage I'm seeing from people who even look like me, people who are allies and say they shared our values, is so disheartening. It's so heartbreaking. So that's a conversation I had this morning. And I want to know what's so scary for people in corporations. Well, they say that's not our line of business. Well, hell, it's not any of our line of business to be fighting for voting rights, especially in 2026. But if we're saying this is a civil and human right that's being threatened, not just for Black people, for everyone who exercise their franchise. When I walked into your studio, there was a headline up from the USPS saying, if you won't turn over your voting rolls, if you won't federalize elections, we're not going to mail in your ballots. That's where we are right now. So my question to everyone is, if you won't stand with people saying protect our voting rights, will you stand with us if we say we don't want to go back to sharecropping? Will you stand with us if we say we don't want to go back to slavery?
Hold tight. We got to go pay some bills. And we'll come right back with Angela Rye.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Always exhausted, loud snoring, keeping your partner awake? You could have sleep apnea and not even know it. South Seattle Smiles has a comfortable solution with no CPAP required. Most medical insurance accepted. Call 206-241-5533 today. SouthSeattleSmiles.com.
Your medication for enlarged prostate is working. That's what you tell yourself. You're up 3 times a night instead of 5. The urgency is manageable. The stream's not great, but it's fine. That's the problem. Fine. Enlarged prostate, or BPH, doesn't pause because the medication takes the edge off. The prostate keeps growing. The bladder keeps working harder. And over time, those changes can be harder to reverse. But surgery? Not for you, right? Aquablation is not the surgery you're picturing. It's the only ultrasound-guided, robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Don't wait until things become unbearable. Find an Aquablation urologist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466. 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
Upgrade your home with Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Be among the first 40 June projects to sign up for 5 or more installed windows and receive a free patio door. Plus, enjoy 12 months, no interest, no payments financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Rye is still here with us. And you know what? She wants to respond to the text messages. I said, okay, here we go. We do text messages during this time. Go a little low there. So the text comes from Bob from Puyallup. And he says, nobody is losing any voting rights. Nobody's going back to slavery. This is all completely ridiculous.
Well, Bob, thank you for your text and for your opinion. I'd love to know who is in your friend circle and who you talk to, where you gather information. What are your news sources? I think if you listen to Truth Social or listen to Fox, you might have a hard time gathering some facts. So let me just give a few for you. There was just a primary election in Alabama. Mm-hmm. There were 2 black members of Congress on the ballots for those congressional districts, Terry Sewell and Shamari Figures. People who went and cast their vote for Shamari Figures, he will not be on the general election ballot in November. So, Bob, you're not an Alabama voter, so maybe you don't know about that, or maybe you don't know about the fact that in Louisiana, there was Troy Carter and Cleo Fields, and right now, at least Cleo Fields will not be on the general election ballot after people cast their votes in May, just this past month. So people are losing their voting rights. If they cannot elect a representative of their choice, who they actually voted for, I think that is absolutely voter suppression. It is absolutely losing a voting right. And I would say that we're not going to go back to slavery without a hell of a fight in the 250th anniversary of this country's birth, allegedly. And so we're not going back to slavery. But I want to know if you would at least stand to say you don't support slavery or you don't support sharecropping. Or maybe you could just say you support voting rights. That way we can get on the same page. God bless you, Bob.
Angela, a lot of young people are watching you with your platform and understand that there is a price that comes with it, unfortunately, for coming out and speaking the truth and saying things against folks' echo chambers. What's the part of the work that nobody sees sometimes that they might need to be ready for? Because I would love to just hang out with you on a daily basis. What part of the work don't we see?
The pain, right? There's if we could look at Fannie Lou Hamer, who did this work far better than me and sacrificed so much more. Fannie Lou Hamer stopped doing voting rights work and just started working around economic co-op opportunities for Black farmers in Mississippi because this work broke her heart. W.E.B. Du Bois so believed in this country, and when this country failed him, he expatriated to Ghana. There are many of us who expect ourselves from everyone else. And I think in this moment, I was talking to a friend of mine who's famous, asking him to use his platform this morning, and he told me he was too busy. And I asked him what it was going to take. And he said something back, and I just said, okay. He said, don't just say okay. But I said, that's exactly what you're saying in this moment when things are not okay. And if you can't find time to protect your rights, to stand up for what's right in the face of this, I don't know what we can count on you for.
Before we go, Angela, you just said something. You just said pain. And I'm going to tell you something. And like, now, just me and you now. That pain is real. That pain is real. Matter of fact, that pain is harder for me today than it's ever been in my life. Does it get harder?
I think it is going to get harder. If we don't stand up very soon, and by we, I mean all of the Black community, all the Asian community, Pacific Islander community, Latinos, white folks, like we got to come together and just say there is a red line in the sand about what is right and righteous. This is a moral conversation. It's not a political one. If you can't stand up for righteousness in this moment, it absolutely will get harder. And I refuse to let it. So let's go.
Angela Rye, always love it when you come on. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Chef, thank you for all you do, brother. Nick, you got to sum up the show for the day?
Well, yeah, sure. It's been 5 more days until this World Cup games arrives, and we'll get new folks from all these different countries spend and thrive, but I think they put aside some bread for rides and cars they drive after finding shock for gas costs that might soon go past the 5s. And they hopefully don't think the extra charge stops with the flight when they touch down here at SeaTac, where we can't get that name right. Even if you ask Sam Chose on the show here earlier if it's SeaTac or SCA, it's still a pain to figure that out. So we'll figure it out someday.
Now, when you say it's still a pain, was that a homage to Painfield?
Yeah, there you go.
I like what you did there. Hey, we got to go. Appreciate all of you. Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Spike O'Neill here for Ageless Living. Recently, my aunt had surgery, and she was home the next day. But we weren't sure if we were ready or equipped to give the kind of care that she needed, so we called Ageless Living and asked about respite care. A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Ageless Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to agelessliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. It can be a much-needed break for a caregiver and a chance for you and your family to get a look and a taste of what Ageless Living offers. That's agelessliving.com/spike.
Are you a homeowner, 62 or older, and realize that your Social Security and other income may not carry you through your retirement years? Have you ever thought about a reverse mortgage? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at Tila Mortgage, a local company serving Washington residents for 30 years. And if you want to know how a reverse mortgage works or have questions like, are reverse mortgages safe? Will I still own my home? Or do I really have the option of not making monthly mortgage payments? Call Tila for a no-pressure conversation. They'll answer your questions with personalized recommendations and loan options that can safely help you improve your monthly cash flow, increase your available income, pay off debt, or make home improvements. Call Tila today. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. TILA Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Whatever the heat index, stay cool this summer. Your local Bryant dealer can make sure your system is up to the task. Whether it's maintaining your current system or installing an energy-efficient Bryant Evolution cooling system with perfect Humidity Plus technology, your dealer will give you what you need to help your family beat the heat. Learn more and schedule an appointment with a factory-authorized dealer today at BryantNorthwest.com. That's BryantNorthwest.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Download the KIRO Newsradio app, where you can watch us live or stream us live anywhere, anytime.
How would this initiative, whatever this initiative is, how would he fund it?
Stay connected everywhere. Download the KIRO Newsradio app.
A rising blast, left field, grand slam, Rosarena!
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But for a truly elevated experience, you've got to be in a Mariner Suite. A suite is the perfect spot to get your game and celebration on. Birthday, promotion, engagement, company team building that actually team builds. No matter your event, we've got a suite you'll love. Group suites can fit 30 to 400 people for big-time bashes. And private suites offer just that, an upscale experience for more intimate gatherings. All Mariner Suites offer an incredible view of the ballpark, so you can't go wrong. Plus, you and your guests will enjoy premium catering, VIP parking, private Skybridge entry, and more. And season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve your suite today at mariners.com/suites.
Bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors,